Fable 3 is a fantasy action RPG developed by Lionhead Studios in 2010. I enjoyed me some Fable 2. It wasn't exactly a huge improvement, but it expanded the world of Albion in some good ways and streamlined the gameplay for better and worse. Fable 3 is the black sheep of the series, judging by the reviews, and after playing it, this is rough, man. The game still has that cartoony art style from the previous Fables, but it's a lot more desaturated and brown and just overall depressing, which fits the industrial era setting it's going for. If it's shit brown for the vibes, I guess I can understand, but that doesn't mean I like it. The performance is fine, but inconsistent frame rate for some objects when moving and animations, which is something that's still not fixed from the Fable 1 days, made the game look laggy at times. It's been like 6 years, dude, what's up with that shit? But yeah, overall, other than the feces filter and laggy objects, it's aight, I guess, nothing much to say. There aren't a lot of improvements or innovations in the gameplay department. Menus are now replaced with the sanctuary. It might look neat at first with your items and equipments visualized and presented in rooms and pedestals, but it just feels clumsy in the long run. You gotta walk to the shit you want to put on, and since there's only so much space in each room, you gotta use the brackets and plus minus keys to go to the next page on PC. Who the fuck thought to use those? They shouldn't even be a part of the equation. Menus shouldn't be like this. They should be quick, convenient, and responsive, not an art project. The combat's mostly the same as Fable 2. The controls are a bit better now that blocking is separate from attacking and flourishing, and dodging is back to being a part of the default moveset. But I do miss the convenience of having individual buttons for melee, ranged, and magic attacks. Anyway, it's still the same mash the attack button, do a flourish when the enemy blocks routine from the previous games, and I'm just fucking sick of it, man. After 2 games of the same shit, it really needed something new, but there's nothing here. Hell, it's even downgraded in some ways. The leveling system has been replaced with road to rule. Remember when you can level up whatever the fuck you want when you have enough points? Now every upgrade is locked behind story progress, which is way less fun. There are less meaningful skills to get too. There are the usual stat increases and spells, but the brutal and dexterous styles are gone. The devs could have expanded on those styles and added in different ones to further specialize your character. That would have been awesome. Instead, we have unlockable expressions, which were all available naturally as you play in the previous games, and fucking dye coloring for your clothes? Really? Why are dye colors character upgrades? That doesn't make any sense. And you gotta unlock the ability to buy properties? They ran out of ideas for character upgrades for sure if they had to do that shit. Either that or they were rushed, like pulling off the waxing strips the wrong way and fucking up your groin. Dyeing your clothes is cool though. Melee got really tiring real quick from the amount of gangbangs thrown at you and how much the enemies keep blocking your attacks. Flourishes take too long to do, and with the amount of gangbangs there are in the game, you rarely have the time to pull one off. I miss how flourishes worked in Fable 1. Just let me build up the meter and tap a button to instantly do it. I got so sick of melee that I switched to the pistols, and it's way better because no one can block fucking bullets. Just boom headshot, boom headshot, boom headshot, kill cams everywhere. Not that it matters that much because you can't die in this game. Every time you drain your health, you come back to life, losing only your progress to the next skill point. It's like the devs knew the combat wasn't fun and gave up on balancing. This is like a game for babies. In the last third or so of the game, you become king and do king shit. You know, like fulfilling your promises made with allies, hearing out your citizens, fix problems, play the real estate game for 10 hours. The final goal of the game is to get enough money to defend your citizens from the invading shadow monsters. You need 6.5 million gold to get the best ending, and if you choose to fulfill all the promises you made to your allies before recruiting them, you'll be in deep debt with more than negative 1.5 million gold. So if you choose to be morally good throughout, you'll need over 8 million gold. The best way to make money is to work a job until you have enough to buy properties, businesses, houses, and raise the prices and rent money sky high. At first I thought, damn, the devs are finally giving the real estate mechanics a place in the story. But this would become the part of the game that would drain me of my blood, sweat, tears, cum, and sanity. It takes ages to get enough money to buy all the properties. You don't get that much gold from jobs at the beginning because your job level's low, so to get the most out of a job you need to wait until way later in the game to upgrade it to level 5. I mean, what's the point of working if you only get a measly fraction of what you would get later, right? Once you have a level 5 job, you gotta work it for a while, pressing the right buttons at the right time like a rhythm game. Every round you complete, the speed and money multiplier goes up with a max of 10. It's mind-numbing and the button inputs are not the most responsive. There are times when I'm on winning streaks, but out of nowhere, a button just won't work sometimes, and that reset the multiplier, forcing me to start all over again. It's like the mini game itself is running at 30 FPS while the main game is at 60, which caused some input lag and discrepancy. It fucking sucks penis through a straw, sipping cum straight from the ball sack. The process of grinding money for properties does get easier the more properties you have. Every 5 minutes you get the profit and rent money from your properties, but you still have to wait for quite a while before you have enough. There are some cool side quests like the previous games, but don't do them. Save them for after you buy all the properties so you can have something to do other than hammering swords or fucking pies. But even if you finish all of them, it's still not enough. So I just left the game on and went to hang out with some friends. I came back hours later to 15 million gold and that was that. Yeah, you can probably get to 6.5 mil faster if you work jobs, but it's fucking boring, man. And I didn't come to Fable just to play Loot Hero for hours on end. But even after all this shit, and I can't believe I'm saying this, it actually makes sense in the context of the story. And I don't hate it entirely. With all that said, the gameplay is disappointing. There's not enough new shit and the latter third of the game is ass to get through. You play as the prince or princess of Albion, who's the direct descendant of the main protagonist from Fable 2. Your brother Logan is the current king, and he's been doing some shitty stuff to the people of Albion, like child labor and executing disobedient workers. One day the workers start protesting at the castle, so you along with your girlfriend Elise decide to stop Logan from committing any more atrocities. He then has you choose between killing the protesters or your girlfriend. I don't know the bitch, so I spared the people instead. Your mentor person, Walter, decides to revolt as well, so he takes you and your butler, Jasper, to your father's tomb to get the Heroes Guild seal and, well, become a hero. You go on to gather allies from all over Albion. You got the Dwellers, Walter's soldier buddies in the swamps, Paige of the Rebellion, and Kaelin from Aurora City. In exchange for their support, you promise to help them with their own problems. On your way to Aurora, your ship gets cooked and you're forced to go through some ancient ruins with Walter. Inside you discover a Cthulhu-looking monster called the Crawler that tries to kill you and deep fills Walter with black goo, nearly blinding him. Logan actually visited Aurora in the past and encountered the Crawler, learning of its intent to invade Albion. So the reason Logan became a tyrant was to by any means necessary get enough money to raise an army big enough to fight against the Crawler. Hell, he even hired Reaver with his Wolverine sex mansion to handle the business side of things. Once you gather your allies, you take Logan down and start fixing shit. It's hard to get money and be ethical at the same time. Man, I should have built that brothel. I could have used that 1 million. Fuck those homeless people and orphans. Through hard work and dedication, you get enough money to commission the army and you're ready to face the Crawler. Shadow monsters fill the streets, shit's blowing up everywhere with black jizz on the ground. It's fucked up. You get to the Crawler only for it to possess Walter, so you kill him. The Crawler's gone, Walter gets a statue of himself erected to honor his memories and contributions, everyone is saved, you're a hero, the end. I find the story boring. None of the characters are particularly interesting or memorable. Logan is not a good villain, he just does evil shit and fuck off till the end. I'd rather have Jackoff Blades back. The twist with the Crawler, if you can even call it that, feels generic. Instead of coming up with a maybe profound reason for Logan's actions, it's just ancient evil, and that's boring, man. The only thing that's good is how the gameplay was used to demonstrate how hard it is to be king, trying to get enough money and resources to protect its citizens, and how much morally are you willing to sacrifice to do so. I think using sacrifice as a theme would have been way more interesting instead of rebellion, and only for it to end up being, nah, just kidding, it's an evil tentacle monster. It's a waste. I'm surprised that Teresa doesn't have much of a part to play in the story compared to the previous game. She talks to you in the Road to Rule, giving you advice and shit, and an instance where she talked to Logan in the past, but that's about it. It's a far cry from her role in 1 and 2. I miss MILF Teresa. Fable 3 is ass cheeks pressed against the wall, leaving a sweaty imprint of itself for the people to glare at. There's not enough new additions or improvements gameplay wise, and the ones that are there are shit. The story is boring and so is the endgame money grind, though it did work in making me feel the pressures of being king. This is the most indifferent, disappointed I felt in a video game for quite a while. Like, why did they even make this? Microsoft needs that money, man. That's the only thing I can think of. So that's the original Fable trilogy. There's definitely a decent amount of fun to be had, though the gameplay is pretty simple by today's standards. Fable 2 is my favorite, followed by the first game, and last is Fable 3. Don't play Fable 3, just don't. There are a few more Fable games that I don't plan to cover. There's a spinoff called Fable The Journey, but I'm not playing Kinect bullshit. I don't even have room for that oversized webcam. There's also another one called Fable Heroes, which is a beat 'em up with these puppet looking characters. At least this guy seemed to like it. I don't know, looks pretty basic to me. And of course there's Fable Legends, a free-to-play co-op spin-off that's meant to release in 2016 but later got canned. Yeah, nobody knew what to do with the franchise until Microsoft announced a reboot in 2020. Let's hope that one doesn't get canned too. Masters of Albion is another spin-off, and it's directed by Peter Molyneux, the director of the original trilogy. It looks like a town builder / god game, which is a genre that kicked off Molyneux's time at Lionhead Studios. There's early gameplay of it, and it looks a bit rough, not gonna lie, but can't fully judge it until it's out. That's all for Fable for now. There are some franchises that are making a comeback recently. If Silent Hill, Metal Gear, and Gothic can come back, so can Fable. Just don't pull a Fable 3. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Later.